For 500 years, the Calradian Empire dominated the continent. Its armies scattered foes before them. The strongholds of proud tribes crumbled beneath its engines of war. From the forests of the north to the wastes of the south, all was brought beneath the standard of their legions. Brutal as the conquest was, the wise agreed that it brought peace. The land, now untroubled by armies, grew rich. But empires, like men, grow old. Leaders lose a common cause. Corruption spreads. Old enemies learn the Empire's tricks and devise new ones of their own. Until one day, the bonds holding the Empire snap. Then comes the Civil War, pitting all against all. A time of hatred. A time of suffering. But also, even in the worst hours, a time of courage and defiance. As new leaders arise, from new places and new peoples, to turn back the tides of destruction and bring forth a new world from the ashes of the old.
What an introduction. Welcome to Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlord, Rise of the Battanians. So obviously I'm picking Battanians. The Battanians are based on the Celts, who, with me being Irish, are my own heritage. So I mostly play with Battanians when playing Bannerlord. I have also a playthrough with Empire going at the moment, but we're going to go Battanians and we're going to go Iron Man. Try and get this guy looking a bit like me. Skin color's right.
Let them advance!
Don't know about that voice. What do you guys?
Give way! Give them hell!
Give them hell!
Up the ladders!
Up the ladders!
Stand firm!
Stand firm. Okay, I'm not the tallest guy. I'm not the shortest guy there. I'm probably average height. So, maybe here. Not a big guy. Kind of well built. Ish. I'm not athletic, but I'm not fat either. Okay, so this is my first episode where I'm kind of talking to you guys, introducing myself. My name is Hazardous Nomad. I'm a gamer, airsofter, snowboarder. I've traveled abroad, lived abroad. I'm going abroad again soon to live in Spain again. Hablo un poco de español y yo quiero aprender más. I speak some Spanish. I want to learn more. Yeah. Ratio, what's a face ratio? Let's go all the way there. Ah, okay. Boom. Don't have a fat face. Cheekbones, like that. Kind of got small eyes. Face is pretty symmetrical. Ears are good. I used to be really big into creation and character creation when I was young. I loved it. I would have spent hours doing it. Nowadays, I kind of just try to get through it as quickly as possible. I mean, once like in this game particularly too, like you know, you put on a lot of armor and stuff. Doesn't really matter, does it? I have seen things where people say put yourself smaller so you make height and size, you have a smaller hitbox and stuff. But I am a bit of a sucker for realism to an extent. You know, I like things to be somewhat realistic. Those nostrils are huge, bro. My nostrils are not that big. Oh, don't. What the? Nose bump. I have a pretty small nose before. Yeah, getting there. It's okay. Reasonably enough like me. I've got a pretty small mouth. Look like that grumpy bastard sometimes too. So that noise, that music is really, it's too loud in my ears there. It's hard to hear myself. Hard to hear myself think, never mind talk. Hairstyle wise though, I think I might go something pretty cool and crazy looking. Pretty much. I'm gonna go with the cornrows. Got a nice big beard going. I think that's pretty cool. Let's go with that. We'll not get any face tattoos, I don't think. Okay, so I was born into a family of tribespeople. Yeah, we're gonna go tribespeople. Start off sort of like just random. We're just normal proletarians tilling the land. And we're gonna work our way up. Your family were middle-ranking members of a Victanian clan who tilled their own land. Your father fought with the Kern, the main body of his people's warriors, joining in the screaming charges for which the Britannians were famous. As a child, you were noted for your leadership skills. Yeah, well, we're going to be a good leader. So, if the wolf pup gang of your early childhood had an alpha, it was definitely you. All the other kids followed your lead as you decided what to play and where to play, and led them in games and mischief. Like all the village children you helped out in the fields, you also herded the sheep, worked in the village smithy, repaired projects, gathered herbs in the wild, hunted small game, sold pot at the market, worked at the deckhand. I hunted small game in my spare time. As a youngster grew up in Colorado, war was never too far away. You were a chieftain, so we've missed a bit here. You accompanied a local hunter as he went into the wilderness, helping him set up traps, catch small animals. 10 skill point levels and 1 focus point to bow and tactics, 1 attribute point to cunning. Trained with the infantry. Levy armed with spear and shield, drawn with small holding farmers, have always been the backbone of most armies of Calradia. And there we have it. Where we stand with the garrisons. Yeah, no, we're going to actually go as a chieftain's servant. As a youth out hunting, we were witness for bravery and talents, and the chieftain asked us to become a messenger. Local wise men picked you to become the messenger of a chieftain of your people. You were not given major responsibilities, mostly carrying messages and tending to his horse, but it did give you a chance to see how campaigns were planned and men were deployed in battle. 10 skill levels and 1 focus point to steward and tactics, 1 attribute point to cunning. Okay. And before you set off for a life of adventure, your biggest achievement was you defeated an enemy in battle, you led a successful manhunt, you invested some money in land, you hunted a dangerous animal, you had a famous escapade in town, you treated people well. I defeated an enemy in battle. Not everyone who musters for the levy marches to war, and not everyone who goes on campaign sees action. You did both, and you also took down an enemy warrior in direct one-to-one combat in the full view of your comrades. We got +1 valor and +20 renown for that. I am going to be playing Iron Man here, so I want to give myself a little bit of a boost starting off. This is going to be very difficult. I have got probably about 1,000 hours across PS4 and 5 on Mount and Blade, Bannerlord, probably near 2,000 with the first one as well. All mostly on PlayStation. A little bit of this on the PC, but it wasn't running great, so yeah, kind of ignore that. But yeah, anyway, so like story background. Like many families in Calredia, your life was upended by war. Your home was ravaged by the passage of army after army. Eventually, you sold your property and set off with your father, mother, brother, and your two younger siblings to a new town you'd heard was safer. But you don't make it. Along the way, the inn at which you were staying was attacked by raiders. Your parents were slain, and your two youngest siblings seized. But you and your brother survived because you subdued a raider, you drove them off with arrows, you rode off on a fast horse, you tricked the raiders, you organized the travelers to break out, you threw up makeshift fortifications. You drove them off with arrows. You grabbed the bow and set a few arrows the raiders' way. They took cover, giving you the opportunity to flee with your brother. Okay. Your name. Enter my name. I'm gonna go with the old Irish for my own name. Conchobhar. And this is our story. Difficulty. Bannerlord. Realistic, 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 challenging, realistic, nail birth, nail death, veteran, enable auto allocation of perks for members in your clan. No. And we're gonna go iron mode. Okay, here we go. The beginning of the adventure. So I'm probably gonna run this.
Brother, it's been 3 days now we've been tracking those bastards. I think we're getting close. We need to think about what happens when we catch them. How are we going to rescue our brother and sister? Are we up for a fight? This looks like an old training field for the legions. Perhaps we can spare some time and brush up on our skills. The practice could come in handy when we catch up with the raiders.
I don't need to do the tutorial.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
All right then. Let us split up and look for the little ones separately. I'll send you a word if I find them before you do. One other thing, brother. We want people to take us seriously. We may be leading men into battle soon. Let's give our family a name and a banner, like the nobles do.
A few hours after you leave the training ground, you come across a wounded man lying under a tree. He says he was attacked. He says he too was attacked by bandits. You share your water with him and try to dress his wounds as best you can. He tells you he is a traveling doctor. To thank you for your help, he hands you a small bronze artifact which he says was once given to him in payment by a warrior who said only that it was related to the Nertz's folly. He suspects it might be of great value. You resolve to find out more. The doctor gives you one more bit of information. He overheard the bandits talking about captives they had seized on their raids. They planned to part ways, with one group taking their prisoners to the south and the other planning to head northwest to sell them to the pirates at the port of Ostachan. You may be able to help your brother by searching there for your siblings. On the first day of summer, 1084, you found the artifact which Tactios mentioned. Fen Calrain? No, we are going to be the Fen Carthach, which is the Old Irish for my surname, but Mac would be Fen. I'm pretty sure it's technically the same thing. Son of. Oh, sorry, I started with my symbol too. It's the exact symbol I want. Size big. Background color is going to be green because we're Britannian. The sigil will be white. Gold. You and your brothers part ways. As he rides over the crest of a hill, he lifts his arm and sells it, then disappears from view. A few days ago, you were a family of 6. Now you're alone, and you realize that despite your courage and determination, you and your brother may never see each other again. However, you're not left long in your solitude. As you make the final preparations to set out, a young boy staggers into your camp. Once he regains his breath, he tells you that a small group of bandits raided his village and seized the headman as a hostage. The villagers saw you riding through the countryside and thought you might be able to help them. Troubled waters. We have our first quest. Throughout your travels, you overheard hushed conversations about a new menace, a pirate confederacy terrorizing the coasts of Calradia. These northern corsairs have built a reputation for treating in captives from bandits and raiders, such as the ones who attacked your family. Do you want to go to Ossigan now to try to pick up your sister's trail and embark on a hunt across the seas of Calradia? Um, yeah, that's good. So yeah, as I was saying, these episodes are going to run for an hour each, and we're going to just play the adventure and see how it goes. It is Iron Man. It is very difficult. I do expect it to be very, very hard. There's no saving, going back if I don't like an outcome of a battle or a siege. You're strolling through Ostakan streets when you hear raised voices coming from a side alley. You turn to look and see 3 rough-looking men accosting an older man in a cloak. His gaze shifts quickly from one to the other, and his body is tensed as though he is going to spring into action. You sense a fight is about to start.
Listen, you lot, I'm in a bit of a hurry. If I give you a penny each, will you stop pestering me,
You're Gunnar of Lagshofen, aren't ye? We got a message from the Sea Hounds for you.
You've got a message from those curs. Out with it, then. What's your message?
The message? The message is that you will die, you damn fool.
And how should I die, then? Of old age? While you 3 work up the courage to attack a wizened greybeard? Go on. You've delivered your message. Now scamper off.
We'll send you down to the Pale One's hungry halls. Right now. Kill him, boys!
Bastard! By my blood, damn that. I am Gunnar of Lagshofen, from the Nordvig lands. I've come to this port seeking warriors and a ship. These men we fought were allies of a pirate gang who called themselves the Sea Hounds. They have been raiding and slaving along the Nordvig's shores, and I intend to go to war with them. The Sea Hounds and I have history, and nowadays they hate my guts as fiercely as I hate theirs. Somebody must have sent word of my whereabouts to their local friends, as these lowlifes had a mind to do me in. Again, you have my thanks for evening the odds. I know what it's like to lose family to slavers. If you're still searching, look to the Sea Hounds. They've got their hands in most of the slaving that happens along these coasts. It's hard to believe now, but they were once my brothers in arms. Years ago, we fought side by side in the last great rebellion in the north. Most of the clans and many freemen like myself refused to bow to Volbjorn the Usurper, as he was then called. But Volbjorn knew how to speak to men's desires. He won over the bigger clans with promises of land and silver. And when summer came and he brought a fleet to give us battle, he had with him so many longships that their sails covered the horizon. We still fought them, of course, but their numbers were too many to beat. They dishonor what we fought for. I'm no stranger to battle. I'll kill when I must, but they murder for pleasure, thinking the All-Father rewards bloodthirst. He wants warriors, not hounds. I mean to gather up some of my kin and friends to go against the Sea Hounds. Just a few days ago, I ran into an old comrade of mine here in Ostikan. He is called Puring, and he happens to own a fast ship. He promised to help me capture a Sea Hound ship and put together a crew. So, I'm going to make you a proposal. Perhaps you'd like to come with us. I can't guarantee we'll find your kin, but I can promise a good fight. And if we win, a bit of fine loot. And, well, if you'd ever had an interest in learning how to handle a ship, you won't find any better school than these northern seas.
Okay, so that took me a little bit by surprise. My ADHD got the better of me, and I was doom scrolling and not paying attention. So, yeah, maybe I should have taken the tutorial because I needed a refresher on the buttons. I'm not going to skip this tutorial though because I can get a bit of a good starting loot out of it. So
you can find Purig
we're
in the
going to do the
tavern
war
and
sales adventure to
introduce
begin with.
yourself. I should go get myself cleaned up and get ready to travel.
The tavern biscuit. Find Purig. There we go. Now I'm remembering the buttons.
Aye? So, who are you then?
I am Conchobhar. Gunnar sent me were in a fight. I helped Gunnar in a fight. He said he planned to sail with you. Let's go with that one.
A fight, you say? Gunnar and you won, huh? He's alive?
Gunnar saved my ass, bro. I would have died if it wasn't for him. It's supposed to be me saving him.
Well, good for you two. Gunnar is a tough old goat and rather hard to kill.
Say that again.
I'll have to ask him about it when I get the chance. So, yes, I agreed to help him in his little feud with the Sea Hounds. For old time's sake. I've got my ship and men ready to sail. If you're indeed of a mind to go with us, I'm happy to take you. But I've only got room for you. So if you've got any traveling companions, you'll need to leave them in this port. I'm sure you'll be back soon to rejoin them, safe and sound.
Did you also
I
fight this
did.
event?
We started out as young men with nothing but our swords, our sweet mistress the sea, whispering promises of wealth and glory in our ears. We served no kings and had no lords, and those were fine times.
They sounded good times. I'm not gonna lie.
All Gunnar says they're even worse than the king and the jarls we fought, preying upon the farmers and the fishermen of the coast. There's no honor in attacking the weak, he told me so many times. And he's right, of course, but it's just so much easier to take their wealth. Come down to the ship with me then. Wind and tide are with us, and I won't tarry long.
Let's go.
My brothers, I hope this letter finds you well. I told you that I might soon ask you to join me in Ostikan. That time has now come. Let me tell you what has befallen me since we last parted. I have been trying to gather warriors here to help us fight the Sea Hounds. I was lucky to find one very capable and brave soul who came to my help when they ambushed me in an alley. This warrior has a sister who was enslaved along this coast and agreed to join me in my hunt, in the hope of learning more about her whereabouts. I had planned to sail out of Ostikan with our old comrade, Purig. I considered myself very fortunate to have found him. Here was a warrior with a ship who shared my hatred of the Sea Hounds, ready to sail with me. But I had misjudged him. He was instead the lowest form of traitor, a man whose feigned camaraderie concealed a contempt for all that we value. The first night on the open sea, we were woken up by Purig's men holding knives to our throats. Purig had struck a deal with the Sea Hounds, and he intended to hand me over to them to be tortured and killed. He was always ambitious, and seemed eager to win favor with what he imagined to be a new power in the north. "I am sorry, old friend," he said, "but the Sea Hounds are strong and rich, and I think you always wanted to die spitting defiance at your foes." This was the last he spoke to me. His men chained us to the oars. The sea was calm, and the weather hot. They made us row hard, and we suffered greatly as we cruised the coast looking for merchantmen. Presumably Purig wished to appear before the Sea Hounds with a prize or two in his hands to make more of an impression. In this way, his plan was undone by his greed. On the third day, we came across a stubby trading Gnar and gave chase. As we closed, the Gnar's crew first started to dump their cargo and then their own selves, as the pirates were shooting them with their bows. Eventually, we caught the Gnar. Purig sent us as oar slaves to his prize, alongside some crew who hadn't jumped, with some pirates to guard us as he gathered up all the floating cargo. That was a mistake. His men found some casks of wine aboard the Gnar and failed to chain us properly. Purig's Nekia by then was some distance away, and we realized that if we wanted to end our miserable ordeal, we'd never get a better opportunity. The chain is loose. It's now or never. Get up and strike them down.
Okay, now we're gonna fight for our survival.
Well done. Now, help us get these chains off, huh? Well done. That's twice now you've gotten me out of a bad spot. Can you see those poor lads thrashing in the water over there? Right. Now, let's slow down so they can climb aboard. There's two more of them over there. Let's go fish them out. Right. Now, let's slow down so they can climb aboard.
This will be a good episode for anyone interested in buying the War Sales DLC for Mountain Blade to see what it's like.
Oh, thank you. Heaven be praised. We thought we'd escape the arrows, only to be drowned by the waves. Heaven protect us all.
Think nothing of it, lads. You've done the same for us, one sailor for another. So look, lads. Urig is still around, but I suspect he's overladen and undermanned. I doubt he can find us before nightfall, which is good because I don't think we can outfight him. By my reckoning, we're still not far from Ostikon. So, row, my boys, for Ostikon and safety. Let's row into harbor and tie her up. Well, I sent off my letter, and I spoke to some men from my homeland who have just arrived. They are sick of Sea Hound raids and ready to join us in our hunt. I'm afraid we cannot take your own companions, however. There's not enough room on the ship, and my men aren't willing to trust their lives to any other vessel in these northern seas. I recommend you make ready to sail again soon, but we have a bit of time. The ones with us now are farmers from the island of Baneland, near my village at Laxhoven. They are good men and well motivated. That coast has suffered greatly at the hands of the Sea Hounds, but they are not warriors who live for battle. The letter, though, was addressed to one of my I do not pretend that I see eye to eye with Bjolgur on all things, but he, like me, prefers to match his skill against other warriors, and he has kin in Vineland. He will not come immediately, as he must take permission from his brotherhood. But when he does come, we will be very glad of his help. I recommend you make ready to sail again soon, but we have a bit of time. I suppose I have time for an old war story or two, if you're truly of a mind to hear. As I told you, we fought together against old King Volbjörn. Many of us were from Bannerlord and other parts of the Nordvig, where even the Jarls tread lightly. A man who called himself our king. Well, we weren't having any of that. We didn't call ourselves the Sea Hounds back then, but we flew the Dog's Head banner to show our loyalty to each other and to our cause. We fought, but we lost in a great battle in Valvik Bay. I and 100 other captives were led before Volbjörn, and the king ordered his men to take our heads. A dozen or so were killed before me, so I had time to think up something to say. As they held me down to receive the blow, I told Volbjörn that it was a good thing I'd eaten not long ago, so I could let him know directly from the High Hall what sort of feast they'd prepared for him there. I thought he'd order me cut open or flayed, but instead Volbjörn laughed and told me that he liked my metal. He'd spare my life and the lives of the rest of my comrades, so long as I swore an oath not to take up arms against him again. Volbjörn had made his point with a dozen headless bodies at his feet, and men paying the land tax or serving in his armies were of more value to him than corpses. If I swore, 100 of my comrades could return to their families. So I swore. Some of our number never showed up at the battle, however. I can imagine how it went for them after that. Mocked in taverns or in scraps of songs sung by children. The North is not forgiving of those who throw away their good name. Their old life where they were feared rather than scorned must have seemed much sweeter in comparison.
That's Blair, 1927. I'm good, man. How are you?
Great resentment against those of us who faced death and showed them up as cowards.
It's actually a good way to check.
These are the ones who became the Sea Hounds, who aimed to steal the wealth and glory that they failed to win in battle.
I don't know if my mic's been working, my headset.
I recommend you make ready to sail again soon, but we have a bit of time. I do not know for sure. If I had ever knowingly given him insult, I never would have sailed on his ship. A true warrior to my mind knows his own mettle. He does not need others to remind him of his honor. He knows that sometimes in war you suffer bad luck. Your ship arrived late. You were carried away in the rush of a rout. You were defeated by a king with forces far greater than your own. Other men, on the other hand, crave glory. They must hear the cheers of townsfolk and wear gilded armor given to them by kings. They must be envied by other men, and if they aren't, they may hear a little voice in their head telling them that they can steal this glory, that they can slay the weak and take their wealth and buy the respect that they crave. That voice spoke to Purig. He gave into it, and it twisted his heart into something truly dark. He is a husk of a man filled only with ambition and wounded pride, all concealed beneath a fair face and a friendly laugh. I recommend you make ready to sail again soon, but we have a bit of time. Well, I do not think we will have to go very far to start our hunt. A pair of ships have been patrolling off our coast, robbing passing fishermen. And I'd wager one of my eyes to a bale of herring that they're Sea Hounds. They scatter like minnows whenever a real warship sets out. But I think that my men's little vessel will be prey much to their liking.
Let's sail out. Let's do this. Quest activated. No, it shows me where the...
That ship out there, raising sail to intercept us. That's got to be one of them.
They come right at us. As you sail out of Ostigan Harbor, you spot a single ship anchored just offshore. As soon as it sights you, it runs out its oars and steers to intercept your course. It is not waiting for its partner, and is probably not expecting you to put up much of a fight. I'm Irish, boy. What do you see?
They must think we're just a fishing vessel. All right now, boys. Let's show them that their prey has teeth of its own.
So, we've only got 3 minutes left here. It's probably going to cut out.
Get us close so we can board.
We're going to have to end the episode. I wanted to run on another 15 minutes or so, but this recording has a 1 hour limit. I don't want to really break it up into 2, so we're going to leave each one an hour. We'll do this 4. And we will call it a day, call it a night, call it a morning, wherever you are watching. Get to see the action before we cut off. This game's really about using the NPCs and the AI to your advantage. Like, you don't want to run in all guns blazing, because you'll just get killed. It's about strategy, tactics, and it's just up my street. And I like it because it's like a strategic RPG set in the Middle Ages without fantasy. I like it. Your men make quick work of the pirates. As the fighting dies down, you find that the Sea Hounds were carrying captives, bound and stashed beneath the rowing bridges. You cut their bonds and help them to their feet as the lookouts scan the waters for any sign of the second ship.
That's one Sea Hound defeated, but the other can't be too far away. We captured a second ship, though. It's a Snekya. They should be quick and nimble. How about you cross over and take the helm? I'll keep command of our old Gunnar. I think I see them. Untie our ship and let's have at it.
Press that.
I'll let you decide how to fight this one. Maneuver a bit, or just go straight at them.